the chairman, AFU, Bwana Jagi Gakunju. I want to recognize the board members of AFU who are here, leading Jim Justice Nyambo, the CEO, Pristine, a lady who speaks softly but does some amazing work, and her team who have put this event together. I want to recognize Stamushai from Kenya Wildlife Service. Kenya Wildlife Service is the organization that looks after all the wildlife here in Kenya. I want to recognize the representatives of WWF, IUCN, Kenyatta University, East African Wildlife Society, and the umbrella body that brings together conservation organizations in Kenya, represented here by Mr. Stevie Teller, Conservation Alliance of Kenya. I know we have many other partners here who may not be on my list. I can see some friends of mine from the media who do a lot of good work, giving out stories about the environment. I want to recognize the educators, conservation educators, those who work in schools, churches, community groups. I want to recognize the young people in colleges, in primary schools, these young ones here who did a verse together. I saw some very young ones from kindergarten. Please, can we give them a hand clap? Especially because they are sitting quietly, wondering when they are going to get their trophies, and wondering why these adults are speaking for so long, and they probably have snacks in the car which they would rather be munching right now, isn't it? Right. Now, when I was a little girl, I was little one time. When I was a little girl, I lived with my grandmother, and those were the times when the rivers used to flow, nice clean water. So what used to happen, because my grandmother had a child my age, so my auntie and I were the same age, and we were little. So when my grandmother and my older aunties went out to wash clothes at the river, they used to put us in it's one of the wash basins. They were not so cute that time. They were metal wash basins. Because you know, when you have a child, you want them not to run around, isn't it? And what I remember, one of the most enduring memories of being little was sitting in this wash basin, and then those little water skitters, the jorori, they would be, they would be moving around. Then there would be tadpoles in there. There's always things moving around. And I remember very well my little hands trying to touch them. And that memory always stirs a good feeling in me. If I'm not very happy, or when I miss my grandmother because I loved her dearly, I remember those memories of something that now I know is special, because perhaps many of the little children sitting here, even if you went to your grandmother's and she really wanted to show you a nice clean river where she can leave you as she washes clothes, you probably can't find one. True? It is quite possible that even if your grandmother wanted to show you a river with some tadpoles, she would not be able to find one. So now I recognize that I was very privileged, because I grew up in a place where rivers flowed, As I grew older, we would go with my grandmother to harvest maize, and she used to tell us that we must not harvest everything. So she would, you know, kind of take a cob off, move. If she saw one that had been eaten by birds or whatever, she would leave in the shamba. And then would ask her, but why are you leaving it behind? She says, because the animals have no mother. So was my grandmother a conservationist or no? So she says, if the birds have already started eating, she would be cross with us, for instance, if we picked a pawpaw from the tree which the birds have already eaten. She said, but they have no mother. Today, if you take a walk with your grandmother to the shamba, first of all, it's highly unlikely that there will be any birds to eat anything. Because they will use so many pesticides and so much poison, the birds have all died, they even stopped singing. And if there are a few, you want to take everything, isn't it? And when I go to Moranga, I'm sure Madam from KWS, they hear people calling, come and carry those monkeys which belong to KWS. My grandmother used to tell me, if we harvest all the maize, the monkeys will come home. So we used to leave some food at the bottom near the river for the monkeys. So now, that was me growing up as a little girl. I didn't even know the word conservation. I didn't even know, you know, now when you come, you learn English, you know that people say it's beautiful. Me, I didn't know. I just knew, I just knew that that was the way everybody lived. And now when I look back, I realize that I was privileged. Now, the theme today says, it's time to change. Who read the theme of today? It's time to do what? It's time to change. It also says, let us restore Mother Nature. Now, I want you to be able to live in that world that I grew up in. I want you to live in that world. I want your grandmother to be able to find a river that flows, that has tadpoles in it. I want to be part of the people who restore a world in which we can actually go and see something alive in the water. But I can't do it alone, eh? Yeah? I need you, the little people, all of you. We all have to do something, isn't it? Mr. Gakunju has quoted my favorite person, Wangari Maathai. I know a lot of you, when we speak of Wangari Maathai, you don't know who she is. You can't remember. But the older ones, they know about Karura Forest, isn't it? I chair the board of Karura Forest. I've worked there for the last 7 years, maybe 10 years. And so it is my pride and joy when I think about what that wonderful woman did. And you know what? She was not even trying to be famous. She was not trying to be known. She was doing her little thing. And so today, as I think about what we are doing, as we talk about restoring Mother Nature, we need to have a few messages, and I want you to remember this. We don't inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. When you borrow something, the first principle of borrowing is you return, isn't it? When you borrow something, it means that you plan to So we need to restore the earth because we need to return it to our We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. So we have no choice. We have to make the decision to restore the earth. Why again do we need to restore the earth? Because the environment is where we all meet, where we all have a mutual interest. It's the only thing that we all share. The environment is where we all meet. It is actually a quote by Lady Bird Johnson. She says, the environment is where we all meet, where all have a mutual interest. It is the one thing we all share. Bwana Gakunju, this morning, when I woke up, I got a message from a relative of mine who lives in New York, and he said, Mom, my house smells like Mwaora's Nyama Choma place. My house smells like Mwaora's Nyama Choma place. He was trying to tell me that there's so much smoke, and it's got into his apartment, so it is smelling. You know those Nyama places? How many of you go to Kenyatta Market or those places where they do Nyama Choma? So my son says, my house smells like Mwaora's Nyama Choma place. This is somebody who is in New York experiencing the pollution that's coming from Canada. It's true when we say that the environment is where we all meet. Nobody can choose. Nobody can choose another meeting place. Bwana Gakunju put it even better. He said, we only have one earth. There is nowhere else we are going. Yeah? You heard that, little children? We only have? There is nowhere else we are? This is it. This is it. So we need to restore, to look after it. My last message has to do with the beautiful things that I've seen, the artwork, the interpretation of this theme by these beautiful children. They used the beauty of nature to communicate very, very important messages. They all are aware, one is that nobody else is destroying the earth. It is who? Point at yourself, please. Who is destroying the earth? Not us, me. Sema me. Who is destroying the earth? It is me. And the children have totally understood that message. That it is not aliens that throw plastic at night when we are sleeping from Mars. No. It is me. It's not us, it's me. Okay? Right? It's me. So who's going to do something about it? It is who? Me. Who's going to do something about it? Me. When you toss your bottle of water from the car as you're driving on the Nakuru highway, who's going to do something about it? Me. So the children captured that very simple message that it is me who is going to do something about it. The other thing they captured is that the beauty of the environment is unmatched. For in nature, really in the true nature of things, if we rightly consider it, every green tree is far more glorious than if it were made of gold and silver. If you look around and see these green trees, and the children have totally drawn, every single painting has a green tree, these trees are more glorious than if they were made of gold and silver. that nature as it is needs to be restored because it is glorious. Okay? Now, we're in a place where education, teaching, telling people what to do, this is what these guys do. When Christine wakes up every morning, she thinks about education, she thinks about teaching, she thinks about the teachers who are in Baringo. I was just congratulating them. To be able to reach every county with a message and to get a response back. If I started asking, nani ametoka Nairobi, you'd probably put up, nani ametoka Kiambu, nani ametoka, you know. I am told that this competition represents every county. It means they're educating across every county. And so they are doing what we were told in 1968 by a guy called Baba Diom. This was a Senegalese minister. He said this. In the end, we will conserve only what we love. We will love only what we understand, and we will understand only what we are taught. You want me to repeat? In the end, we will conserve only what we love. We will love only what we understand. And we will understand only what we are taught. So teachers, educators, Giraffe Centre, every one of you who wakes up with the morning with a mission of teaching, those who held the hands of those young people so that they could interpret the message. If you're a teacher in this audience, please stand up, we'll give you a clap. If you're a teacher, an educator of any, please stand up. Please give a clap to your teacher. Please. In fact, teachers, please don't stop clapping. Don't stop clapping. These are the champions of conservation, because we will conserve only what we love. We will love only what we understand, and we will understand only what we are taught. With that, I want to just end my message. Go and do your little